Hi, welcome back to Faye and Stories. What if I told you that we might not be the first great civilization on Earth?
You're saying there was another TikTok generation before us.
Not exactly. I'm talking about a massive empire, one so powerful, so advanced, that even the ancient Greeks thought of it as ancient. And then it vanished.
Ah, we're finally doing Atlantis, aren't we?
Yes, and trust me, the story is way deeper than most people think. Today, we're diving into Atlantis, the legendary empire that may have ruled the world, vanished overnight, and might not be a myth after all. The origin of Atlantis comes from a single source, Plato.
So it's a one-source conspiracy? That's either very trustworthy or very suspicious.
He wrote about Atlantis around 360 BC in two of his works, Timaeus and Critias. He described it as an island nation located beyond the Pillars of Hercules. That's the modern-day Strait of Gibraltar.
Out in the Atlantic Ocean.
According to Plato, Atlantis existed 9,000 years before his time, making it over 11,000 years ago by today's standards.
That's older than the pyramids, Stonehenge.
Plato said Atlantis was huge, larger than Libya and Asia combined. It had concentric rings of land and water, temples plated in gold, advanced irrigation, and a navy strong enough to challenge the Mediterranean world.
So like Wakanda with boats.
Pretty much. But here's the twist. Atlantis got too proud, too arrogant, and the gods punished them. In one night and one day, it sank beneath the ocean.
Wow. That escalated quickly.
Now here's where things split. Some historians believe Plato invented the whole thing as an allegory, a warning about hubris and imperialism. But others think he might have been describing a distorted memory of something real.
Like an ancient version of based on true events?
Exactly. In fact, he claimed the story came from Egyptian priests, passed down to a Greek named Solon, and then eventually to Plato's grandfather.
So this is ancient gossip with a long chain of retelling.
Which makes it either complete fiction or the oldest game of telephone ever played.
Okay, but if this was real, where was Atlantis actually supposed to be?
There are about 10 competing theories. Some believe it's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, now submerged. Others think it was in the Caribbean, possibly linked to the Bermuda Triangle. There's even a theory that puts it under Antarctica.
Wait, what if Admiral Byrd already found it? You know, down in Antarctica. Maybe that's why we're not allowed to go near the center.
You're mixing Atlantis with Hollow Earth. But honestly, that theory's been around, and Byrd's journals were weird.
Yeah, totally normal for penguins to be guarding ancient civilizations.
One of the most grounded theories is Santorini, also known as Thera. It's a Greek island that exploded in a volcanic eruption around 1600 BC.
That's the one that wiped out the Minoan civilization, right?
Yes, and get this, the Minoans were incredibly advanced. Indoor plumbing, multi-story buildings, colorful frescoes, and they vanished almost overnight.
So Plato might have been referencing that, just with extra drama?
That's what many scholars believe. It would explain the flood, the sudden collapse, and the cultural memory of a sunken empire.
But wait, if the Minoans were real and Santorini exploded, doesn't that make Atlantis kinda real?
That's one possibility. Or Atlantis could be a mythologized mashup of multiple lost places, all wrapped up into one neat, legendary disaster story.
So, not one Atlantis, but 100 smaller ones that we forgot?
Exactly. And the deeper we look, the more coincidences we find. Here's a wild one for you. In 2016, a diver exploring near Cuba claims he found massive stone structures underwater. Blocks arranged like a grid, staircase-looking shapes.
Oh, sure, probably just natural coral being extra ambitious that day.
Well, that's what scientists said at first. But get this, independent AI image analysts later ran enhanced scans of the footage. Some of the patterns were mathematically symmetrical, like unnaturally perfect.
Wait, AI is analyzing Atlantis now?
Yep. In fact, there's a whole sub-community online using machine learning to scan satellite maps, ocean floor data, even 3D sonar. They're trying to identify anomalies that human eyes might miss.
So Atlantis will be rediscovered by nerds with Python scripts?
Hey, if it works, I'm not judging. One group even claims to have found a giant dome structure near the Azores with 4 straight walls, like an underwater base.
Okay, now it's sounding like Call of Duty.
No kidding. But it gets weirder. A retired U.S. Navy officer came forward anonymously in 2021, saying some sonar scans off the Bahamas were classified after revealing grid-like structures at unnatural depths.
Classified by who?
Allegedly by the... you know. He said it resembled a submerged city, but they couldn't explain how something that size ended up there.
So instead of exploring it, they just hit the redacted button?
National security, you know, because ancient ruins are obviously a threat to democracy.
Only if they start rising from the sea and demanding back taxes.
Point is, between AI scans, sonar anomalies, and sudden disappearances of data, some people think we're closer than ever to cracking the Atlantis mystery.
Or just uncovering how little we actually know about Earth. So if even our sonar tech is finding weird stuff, why aren't we sending more expeditions?
Because sometimes not knowing is more convenient. Imagine what happens if we do find a lost civilization.
Every history book gets thrown out the window?
Pretty much. And governments, religions, institutions, they'd have to rewrite everything.
So you're telling me my school textbook lied to me?
Not lied, just carefully edited.
Well, now I'm rooting for Atlantis to be real, just to watch the chaos.
And who knows, maybe one day a diver, a scan, or even a storm might uncover the tip of something much bigger beneath the waves.
And then the legend becomes history.
And history, it was always just the story we decided to believe.